Oh, hello. Oh, I'm live. I've had a can of pop, so I'm a little bit burpy. I apologise in advance. It's all right. No, it's fine. It's good to get out in the open, isn't it, surely?
Better out than in. Don't say that with Ken around.
Good evening, welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Lee Mack, and in the news this week, in Downing Street, Samantha Cameron tries not to panic as she realises her husband has overdone it with the Botox. In the Midlands, as temperatures plummet and the country grinds to a standstill, the emergency services leap into action. And outside a surgery in London, a Strictly Come Dancing researcher awaits treatment after catching a glimpse of a naked Anne Widdecombe. On Ian Hislop's team is a Geordie comedian who has been described as the Bridget Jones of comedy, though, of course, without the big white knickers. She's from Newcastle. She doesn't wear knickers. Please welcome Sarah Millican. And with Paul Merton tonight is a left-wing politician who recently said the coalition spending cuts were beyond Margaret Thatcher's wildest dreams. Dreams which, coincidentally, regularly featured his head on a spike. Please welcome Ken Livingstone. And we start with the biggest stories of the week. Paul and Ken, take a look at this.
Yes, thank you for the clue. The Big Eagle, and it's the...
A leak.
A leak, yes. Lots of people, aren't they?
They can't stand each other, we now know.
Yeah, he's
mad.
Yeah, he's angry. He's bent, did you say?
Yeah. All those arms deals.
Yeah.
And these two. None of them like each other.
No, don't they? So this is you've the old ambassador chocolate advert. So there's been a lot of leaks all over the world where people have suddenly found out what people really think about each other.
Correct. And where particularly did they find these leaks?
On WikiLeaks. And the poor guy who's done it all is now desperately looking somewhere safe to hide.
He's actually under here. Hello, Julian.
Leave it. BBC One, Saturday night. Leave it.
Actually, there was nothing in this. You didn't know it. Everyone at the top hates everybody else. Yeah. I was delighted. I finally got a mention. The American ambassador said I was too cosy to up with dictators like Fidel Castro. Big news, you know?
Yeah.
No,
and evidence that the US aren't always wrong.
But you called the US ambassador something as well.
It was a chiselling little crook because he wouldn't pay He wouldn't pay the congestion charge.
Oh,
and once the Americans stop, all the others stop.
Exactly.
You know, so they've got it all sewn up, these diplomats. I mean, you take the extreme example, diplomats occasionally rape someone. They just get sent home. We can't arrest them. It's awful. No, not just the congestion charge.
Ken, let's keep it light.
Could you reduce it to a sexual assault?
I don't know if it's just my slightly paranoid brain having been bullied as a child, but I'm sort of waiting for my name to pop up and just for her to say, she didn't have any boobs at 16.
It's not that much ruder than everybody else, really. I mean, you read that stuff and you think, well, I have occasionally closed the door on someone saying, lovely evening. God, you're a bore.
But to be fair, you've never closed the door at a dinner party and said, I think you should attack Iran. Have you? Actually, maybe you have, actually.
Why did you invite them to your party?
Who are they? We want to know.
OK, I'm a dinner jad. Kim Jong-il, he's a real bore and terrible at dinner. And President Sarkozy, who's very rude. Oh, and Prince Andrew. But, I mean, that's just an average evening at my place.
Of course, Prince Andrew was part of the leaks, wasn't he? What did we learn about Prince Andrew, do we know?
This was unbelievable. Yes. Prince Andrew apparently is very rude and stupid. He said that bloody journalists constantly try and shove their noses into business that doesn't concern them, like major corruption deals.
He referred to them as fucking journalists who poke their noses everywhere.
And he says the highest praise from a member of the royal family.
He also said the Americans don't understand geography, never have, adding, in the UK we have the best geography teachers in the world. Whoa, go us. And, of course, The Guardian had a theory about the reason for Andrew's behaviour. Do we know what that was?
He's a dick.
They said it was probably an attempt to emulate his father, although he lacks the Duke of Edinburgh's frustrated intelligence, wit or strange ethereal charm. Well, that's one way of putting it. One senior diplomat leapt to Andrew's defence.
Who leapt to his defence?
A senior diplomat. I haven't got the name of the senior diplomat on the card.
Right,
It says senior diplomat. Let's call him Brian.
Yeah.
Right.
Is his surname not Diplomat? And he could be Senor Diplomat.
OK, what did Senor Diplomat say to Andrew's defence? What did he say? He said,
Exactly.
he said, he is a twat, but he's right in the wrong way.
That counts as diplomacy. Isn't the Iranian thing slightly reassuring? That everybody does hate them after all?
Most of the local Arab governments that hate the Iranians aren't pretty much fun either, frankly. It's not
What,
much
you
of
saying
a
the
choice.
Saudis are not an open and loving...
Well, you will recall I said I look forward to today. I saw the Saudi royal family swinging from the lamppost. Ghastly bunch of crooks, they are.
Always been a moderate, haven't you, Ken?
I'll say it again, Ken. Keep it light. How did Prince Hassan of Jordan describe the leaks?
An incredible torrent of beauty.
No, he said they are wicked leaks.
Oh.
No, he genuinely did. So either he misheard it, or that's the first example I've heard of a Jordanian...
No, I like the really shocking ones, like Andrew, and Berlusconi apparently is sex mad. Who'd have known? He certainly kept that pretty quiet.
He's in it here as well.
Is he?
They actually said about Berlusconi he was feckless, vain and ineffective, and his late-night penchant for partying hard means he does not get enough sleep. Although Berlusconi released a statement saying, I, unfortunately, have never in my life participated in a wild party. Once a month I give dinners at my home where everything happens in a correct, dignified and elegant way. And after dinner we have a game of bunga bunga. Barack Obama, what did he say about David Cameron?
Lightweight.
That's right. The Americans came out officially and said that now that he's got to know him better, his opinion has changed.
Yeah. Very lightweight.
Who else have we learned about this week?
The Koreans?
Yes?
Yeah.
How has he described Kim Jong-il?
Ronry?
What? No, flabby. Flabby old chap, quite a good drinker, who prances around stadiums seeking adulation.
That sounds like a compliment, doesn't it? Quite a good drinker. We'd take that as a compliment, wouldn't we?
You'd take flabby as a compliment in Newcastle, wouldn't you? We learned that Sarkozy went into the US ambassador with his son, a dog and a rabbit, and the son dropped the rabbit, and the dog chased the rabbit, and Sarkozy chased the dog.
That's probably enough WikiLeaks now, don't you?
Yeah. No, that's just one. We've got another 150 cards to get through on WikiLeaks. Yes, this is the WikiLeaks scandal, which has been described as a terrible first round. I'm only joking. Go back. This is the WikiLeaks scandal, which has been described as a diplomatic version of 9/11. So, with WikiLeaks clearly to blame, prepare for the US invasion of Wikipedia. One of the leaks involved Prince Andrew's boorish and insulting view on foreigners. The Queen was said to be deeply embarrassed, whilst the Duke of Edinburgh said, "That's my boy." One of the leaks described an unnamed Labour minister as a manic depressive with an eye for the ladies. He was very up one minute, very down the next. That's what happens when men get to a certain age. The source of the leak is said to be Private Bradley Manning. According to The Times, Manning boasted online of how he downloaded the secret files after taking a Lady Gaga CD into the office and erasing the music. If only you'd have left it at that, son, the whole world would have been behind you. According to WikiLeaks, an American ambassador described French President Nicolas Sarkozy as an emperor with no clothes. That's not fair. An emperor with children's clothes, maybe. Ian and Sarah, what's all this about?
That's students being kettled.
Yep.
Oh, and that's Vince playing hopscotch. That's Ed Miliband meeting the public. Keep that hat on.
Oh. Anne Widdecombe, yeah. Get ready for Strictly. Oh, abandoning. Fair enough.
Oh, blimey, he's just seen Anne Widdecombe. And he's just hired Anne Widdecombe. I don't know why he's in the news. I know the student bit. Is that they've been protesting again?
They have. What about?
Student fees.
What, do you think Stringfellow is there because that's his suggestion for how you raise the funds?
He wants to
Do you have
send
to do
back
that
his
in a-
winter payment. He wants to repay it over the last 12 years, I think.
Yeah, pervy pensioner Peter Stringfellow. He's given back his winter heating allowance. He said...
Pervy pensioner?
Yeah.
Did he give himself that title?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's not made of string either, is he? But, you know, we're not taking everything literally. You know, it's my opinion that giving people of my standing this generous payment is totally unnecessary.
Your standing?
What has Vince Cable announced?
He's announced a policy of putting up student fees, but he's not necessarily going to vote for it. He says he agrees with it, but that doesn't mean he's going to vote for it. Which is quite weird.
And who won't care too much about whether tuition fees have gone up anymore?
People in their 30s.
Or old-age pensioners, as you call them in Newcastle?
What about...
Wales.
The Welsh.
Yeah, it was Wales.
Correct, yes.
Oh, yes.
The Welsh Assembly announced this week that the Welsh students would not have to pay the increase in fees.
That's even if they go to English universities.
And it says I'm supposed to say, Ian, that's a coup for your people, isn't it? What does that mean?
That's an attempt to suggest I'm Welsh.
Why would I suggest that? What would be the purpose of that?
Because I was born in Wales.
Well, it's more of a suggestion. Surely you're Welsh.
If it means I don't have to pay tuition fees when I go back to college next term... to do yet another degree, that would be terrific. No, people are very annoyed, because it means only English people will be paying these sort of very, very heavy tuition fees, so they've got very excited. And some of them got excited enough to go to London and be hit on the head with batons.
Well, yeah, because normally when you think of students, you just think of lazy, don't you? And now you can't, because some of them are, you know, missing, like, whole days of telly. Assuming they've all got Sky Plus, and that's why they feel free to protest.
What I thought was that I like the fact now that people are also bringing a sense of humour to these slogans as well, like placards and one. And one placard at the demonstration simply said, political slogan. Which I quite liked.
That's
I
nice.
think that was from a template that they were supposed to have changed.
A student was interviewed and said, and I quote, "There's no jobs out there, and now they're asking us to pay £9 grand a year, which if you do 3 years, that's like 21 grand." According to George Osborne, what's the good news on the economic front this week?
We're all in it together.
It's not got worse than we thought it would be.
Oh, you're such a ray of sunshine.
Come on, it's bleeding awful out there, yeah.
Does the phrase lighten...
We've been doing the cuts, we've been doing WikiLeaks. When are you getting onto the saucy jokes?
Saucy jokes lined up. It's rubbish.
Yeah.
Well, let's go for that angle then. What did George Osborne say this week about 2 nuns in a bath?
He employed them immensely.
And any other Conservatives shown their caring side this week?
Howard Flight.
Howard Flight. Yeah. The newly created Tory peer said the tax and benefit system discourages the middle class from breeding because it's jolly expensive, but for those on benefit, there is every incentive.
How many people sit there just about to have sex thinking about those things?
Me.
Yeah.
I've got a pocket calculator going.
I know a lot of Tory MPs that were thinking when they were going to have sex, they think about the financial implications. So whilst this is all going on, what's David Cameron been up to this week?
World Cup bid.
Correct.
Which, as we speak now, the nation is jumping up and down with glee, but we just don't know which nation it is.
We're recording before we know